It's time to explore another wholesome anime.
今だけの優越は味わえよ勝利は目前だぜ
Classroom of the Elite has proven itself to be vastly different from any other anime that plays out of school. The first season was met with great critical acclaim, the critic being me. But you don't care about that. You and I both care about one thing. Is it actually better than the last season? The answer is maybe. The season feels far less like Class D versus the other classes and more like Class D versus Class C. Last season ended with C taking a fucking L, and mainly because of Class D. New season begins with them taking a W. It helps establish that they actually are a threat beyond their violence, and they add in a clash between Class C and Class D students to help sell the tension. Looking back, the focus on Class C versus Class D was written on the walls. Like, seriously. Class B and Class A take a backseat during this entire season. Even the sports festival, it doesn't feel like they're there. It doesn't feel like they're there at all. Honestly, it would probably be more accurate to say this season is just Ayana Koji versus Ruyen. In this season, we explore a multitude of themes. The mask we wear is still a prevalent theme, from Ayana Koji's desire to hide his true stats. Well, at least he shows them off in a race, to Kushida's two-faced nature, which is brought to the forefront, by the way. We see her in action and we also establish her past and motives. Great piece to set up for the next season. Kay puts up this mask of the popular confident girl, but she's really a shy girl with a lot of trauma. Class B's leader seems unassuming, but she's as sharp as they come. Even Horikta plays the role of a tough girl, but she's just a little girl who wants her brother's approval. This season displays the reality of bullying and the psychological trauma it causes, the fear it constantly leaves you in, and the type of dependent soul you become, just in hopes to get a glimpse of protection. We even see a shy Rika realize this is why people bully. It gives you power. Power that you haven't felt since you were born, which is a great focus this season. Maybe that's because Ruyen is the main antagonist right now, but they are seriously not afraid to get down and dirty. Mandem are throwing hands. Failure and how to deal with it is also a big part of this season. We've all been there. We've all had something that we desired, whether it was something as simple as passing a grade or winning a sports game. But life and its successes aren't linear, and you will take losses. It's how you deal with them that makes all the difference. Great lesson for everybody to learn. Class D works as hard as they can, but ultimately they fail. But in their failure, they don't despair. They come out united and ready to take on upcoming challenges as a team. And the theme of betrayal echoes throughout this entire show, whether it was people selling each other out at the beginning, Kushida betraying the class, Ruyen betraying Kushida, or Kei coming in clutch as best girl and not betraying Ayana Koji. And that's what makes it so unbelievably good to me. It balances all these themes and provides you with a story that's richer and more intriguing than normal. Speaking of Kei, Kei comes out of nowhere and just randomly takes center stage as this season's main girl. Light novel readers, just shut up. I know what you're about to say, just shut up. In this season, it feels like they are propping her up as the main girl, which makes sense. Horikta's character development arc is getting closer to its conclusion, and we need a new best girl. Or at least we need to play up Horikta's flaw a bit more. They give her this intriguing storyline where she needs to overcome her fear of bullying, and in the end, she actually stands up to the biggest bully of all. They do it in such a way that you can't help but fall in love with her as a character. Even her undeniable love for the MC, it seems like she's been positioned to be the girl that changes the MC. The girl who can help unite the entire class. While it does feel like the shift is left field, the author softens the blow by basically saying Horikta won't get us to the finish line. Not before she resolves her issues anyway, but Kei, she's the most useful person Ayana Koji could have by his side. Great Sal. Ayana Koji. Ayana Koji feels more involved in this season. While the previous season felt like his moves were the big reveal at the end, this time there is more documentation of the schemes he pulls. It very much feels like they are letting us know more about him and his motivations to help sell him more as the main protagonist, which makes sense because what makes somebody a good protagonist is that they move the story forward and we know why they are doing so. And I love this because in the last season I genuinely felt like it was a toss-up between him and Horikta as the main people, but this feels like his story. This feels like he is driving everything. Ruyen also takes the stage as the antagonist of the season. As a result of him being foiled countless times by Ayano Koji, he decides, you know what? I'm not going to focus on the other classes. I'm just going to zero in on Class D and attack them with aggression they've never seen before. A stark contrast to Ayana Koji, who remains calm and tries to remain behind the scenes. Ruyen is cunning and violent and motivated and wants the same thing as the protagonist. Basically a good setup to be a good antagonist for Ayana Koji. even forcing him to abandon his schemes and mental gymnastics and just throw hands. Beat the fear right into our boy. To be honest, this feels like season 1 just turned up a notch. Weird schemes and violence, Kushida being an op, Horikda's desire for her brother's approval, saving a girl from being abused, Classy's utter defeat, and everything being Ayana Koji's plan. All these events have played out in season 2, but they've played out in season 1 as well. So same. The moments are just more intense and the author feels more confident in the storyline this time. Even in the end scene and room meeting. This is the writing of someone who knows they got something good, they are moving the chess pieces around, and will be given the runway to actually execute it. Honestly, I love it as much as I did the first one. 8 out of 10. Also, Ayana Koji's dad came back with the milk. Wonder what that's like.